Zura, what are we doing here?
This seems like a good spot.
Good spot? What are you talking about?
For telling spooky stories, of course.
What, here?
Atmosphere is vital for any performance, especially ghost stories. The fort is abandoned, so it will remove any distractions.
But this is quite far from the main floors. Are you sure this is safe?
Don't worry, I've made the necessary precautions. Takumi told me about this place. He seemed confident this fort was completely abandoned. We won't have to worry about any ambushes here.
I told Sister that we were coming here, so if anything does happen...
Let's not worry about that. Are you ready for a spooky tale? In Nor, it's normal to share ghost stories this time of year. I spent a lot of time getting these stories, so you have to listen to them all.
Okay.
There you are! Gah!
Korin? What are you doing here?
Well, I wanted to ask you about next week's battle plan. But what are you both doing here?
I was just about to tell Sakura some scary stories.
That sounds exciting! Do you mind me joining you?
Not at all.
Well then, let's begin. Have you heard about the monster in the Mauryan castle? Hanging in the castle was the portrait of a middle-aged man. At night,
The man comes out of the painting and takes the maids, right? I think he eats them and makes all the other servants forget the maids ever existed?
Oh, wow, that's a pretty scary story.
It sure was. I couldn't sleep after Leo told me that one. Camilla burned all the large portraits in the northern fortress after that. Do you know any more stories, Azura?
Yes, of course. Let me think. Have you heard about the Mauryan Winter? Long ago, there was a winter in Nor so devastating, everyone was forced to stay indoors. An old noble house was weathering the storm. They had enough heat for one room in the house, so their family huddled around the fire. One night, the youngest daughter of the house heard the sound of chains outside and...
Oh, this is the one where the traveler carrying heavy chains died out in the snow, and the ghost of the man wanted to be put to rest, right? Xander looked into that story for me and said he could not find any evidence of that ever happening to a noble house. I was so relieved it wasn't real.
Wow, that one was also pretty scary.
Azura, are you all right?
Just fine. Korin, do you know all of the most well-known horror stories in Nor?
Well, I wouldn't say I know all of them, but I have heard a whole lot of them from everyone at the Northern Fortress.
I see. Have either of you heard of the traveling merchant staying in the Cursed Palace?
I don't think I know this one.
I didn't think you would. It's a Hoshiden tale. In the not-so-distant past, there was a trio of traveling merchants who sold artifacts from an old ruin to Shirasagi Castle.
Our home?
The very same. This was decades ago, before King Sumaragi's time. It was not uncommon for the merchants to stay overnight in the ruins, digging for artifacts. That night was special, much like tonight, for the moon was crimson!
Oh, wow! Would you look at that? The moon is red tonight.
The merchants were startled by a crashing thud! The sound resonates in the fort they believe to be abandoned.
Wait, fort? I thought this was a palace.
Did I say that? I could have sworn I said fort. Something the matter, Korin?
Well, it's nothing. Please continue.
Only 2 of the 3 merchants heard the pulsing sound throughout the fort, so they left their companion alone to sleep while they investigated the sound. It led them to a hidden door, and inside laid an old parchment. The parchment told of a gateway.
A gateway?
To a land ruled by the Demon King. The tale of the Demon King told of a boy who allowed himself to be possessed in order to gain amazing power. However, he ended up destroying the world and everything he loved along with it. The Demon King manipulated his thoughts to make him believe he was acting on his own free will. But in the end, He destroyed what he was trying to save. The Demon King wishes to venture into other realms and bring about the same terror he inflicted on his own land. But a host is required. On special nights, it is said that suitable hosts can hear the pulse of the Demon King when near the gateway.
I see. Then we should get out of here.
But I haven't even told you what happened to the merchants.
I can hear the pulsing, Azura. We need to leave.
Can you really, big brother?
It's all a tale, Corin. There is no real Demon King.
How can you be so sure? Azura!
I can't disprove the story, but you also can't prove it's real.
Maybe it would be best if we let her finish the story. I don't think I'll be able to sleep without knowing the end.
I suppose you're right.
All right. So the two merchants decided they would not interact with the Demon Gate and decided to return to their encampment. But when they returned, their companion was missing. No body, no remains, nothing save for a small black stone. When one of the merchants attempted to pick up the stone, the fort door started to give off a resounding boom that grew louder and louder. There was someone trying to force their way into the fort. Something with uncanny strength beyond any normal person. The Demon King's minions could be heard outside the fort. The sound of their marching shook the ground. Before the army could reach the fort, the two merchants fled through a hidden passage. They never heard from their friend ever again. And that's the end of the story.
Can we go now?
Yes. Can we go, please?
All right. This place served its purpose. A little too well.
Stay where you are.
Huh?
I won't let my perfect host leave this place.
Ah! This wasn't supposed to happen. I'm sorry, everyone.
There's no need for that, brother.
What?
I'm surprised by how brave you are. I thought for sure I'd get you this time.
I figured it out as soon as I heard my brother's voice.
What is going on?
Sorry, brother, but this was all part of an elaborate prank to give you a fright.
What about the pulsing?
That was me. I just shot some arrows at the doors. Those doors are really sturdy for an old fort. I'm surprised they were able to take so many volleys.
But, this sort of setup requires perfect timing. How did you know we would be at that point in the story?
I was waiting for Azura's signal. When I saw the candlelight at the windowsill, I grabbed these two and rushed to the fort. I hope you aren't mad. We went all out for this year's Halloween prank.
It's our first Halloween with you, brother. Though, I admit we may have overdone it.
Azura worked really hard to make this Halloween special for you. You should be happy we put in the effort.
I didn't know anything about this plan until the last minute, but I hope you had as much fun as I did.
We all thought it would be fun to scare you. I hope you can forgive us.
You guys really are the best. I'll be sure to get you back for this next year.
Like you can even come close to this year.
Ha! There's no way you can top a Hoshiden Halloween.
Let's get out of this dusty fort.
Hey, Zura, was the story about the Demon King true?
Oh? Would you like to hear the full story sometime? You were really brave tonight.
So, the Demon King is real then?
Whoa, nice costume. Who are you supposed to be?
I am Yago! And this is just how I look!